Magandang araw! Welcome sa math video tutorial ni Ma'am Salonga. Our first topic is about illustrating quadratic equations. And our learning competency for today is the learner illustrates quadratic equation. So what is quadratic equation? The word quadratic comes from quadratum, the Latin word for square. It is an equation where the variable is of the second degree. A quadratic equation is also called second-degree polynomial equation. So take note of the word degree. It is the highest exponent of the non-zero coefficient. For example, we have x squared minus 3x plus 4 equals to 0. This is an example of quadratic equation. Paano natin malalaman kung ang equation na ating makikita ay isa palang quadratic equation? So una, dapat ito ay may equal sign. Because the definition of equation is that it is a mathematical statement that two expressions are equal and indicated by equal sign. Pangalawa, dapat ang highest exponent o yung tinatawag nating degree ay 2. Dahil nga ang quadratic equation ay tinatawag na second degree. So ngayon, inspect natin ng ating mga exponents. So meron tayong 2, meron tayong 1, at meron tayong 0. At kung inyong mapapansin, ang pinakamataas na exponent ay 2. Since it satisfies the two conditions, therefore, it is a quadratic equation. Sa quadratic equation, meron tayong tinatawag na standard form. The standard form of quadratic equation can be written as ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0, where x is an unknown variable, a, b, and c are real numbers where a should not be equal to 0. Kasi kung ang ating a ay magiging equal to 0, pag minultiply nyo si 0 at saka si x squared, ang sagot ay 0. Ang matitira na lang ay bx plus c. At ang magiging degree niya or yung highest exponent niya ay 1 na lang. At hindi siya quadratic equation kundi linear equation. Remember that if quadratic equation is in standard form, it must be equate by 0. Nasa right side ang ating 0 at nasa left side naman ng equation ng ating expression. We call the term ax squared of the given equation as quadratic term, bx as linear term, and c as constant term. So we can say that it is a complete quadratic equations if there are no missing terms. Quadratic term is present, and linear term and constant term are also present. Ang example naman ng incomplete quadratic equation ay ax squared plus bx equals to 0, where the constant term is missing. So kung tingnan natin dito, siya yung nawawala. Another example is ax squared plus c equals to 0. Bx naman, or the linear term, ang nawawala. And lastly, we have ax squared equals to 0, where both linear term and constant term are missing. Ang mga constant naman na a, b, and c are called numerical coefficient. So sa ating quadratic equation, ang bawat term na yan ay merong numerical coefficient. Since it is said as numerical, yung number lang ang ating kukunin. So for example, kung ang ating quadratic term ay 3x squared, at dahil nga number lang ang ating kukunin dito sa ating quadratic term, therefore the value of a is equals to 3. Ngayon, bakit a ang ginamit ko? Hindi b, hindi ang c. Kung ating titignan dito sa ating definition ng standard form, pag sinabing quadratic term, ax squared yon. So, yun yung value ng ating a, itong nandito. So, a is equals to 3. Now, let's have an example. And we need to determine if the equation is quadratic or not. Illustrative example number 1. Given is 2x times the quantity of x plus 2 equals negative 2. The first thing we need to do is to set up it in standard form, and we need to use properties of equality. So by using distributive property, so we multiply 2x by x and 2x by 2. And then just bring down equals negative 2. 2x times x is 2x squared plus 2x times 2 is 4x equals to negative 2. Then transform it to standard form, but we need to use another property of equality, which is the addition property of equality or APE. Kung inyong matatandaan sa una nating discussion, the quadratic equation is in standard form if the right side of the equation is 0. So gamit ang addition property of equality, iisipin natin ano nga ba ang pwede nating i-add kay negative 2 para ito ay maging equal to 0. And that is the additive inverse of negative 2, which is 2. Then, remember the rules in solving equation. It should be balanced. So, kung ano ang ginawa natin dito sa right side, nag-add tayo ng 2, dapat gagawin din natin sa left side. So, from 2x squared plus 4x, we need to add 2. Then, the result is 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 equals to 0. Now, inspect the exponents of the terms of the equation. We have 2, we have 1, and we have 0. Since the degree of the equation is 2, then it is a quadratic equation. And also, we call it complete quadratic equation because there are no missing terms. And now, let's identify the terms. Quadratic term is 2x squared, linear term is 4x, constant term is 2. And through this, we can get the value of the numerical coefficients a, b, and c. So the value of a is 2, the value of b is 4, and the value of c is 2. Illustrative example number 2. Given is 3x plus 4 equals to x over 2. Again, we need to transform it to standard form through the use of property of equality. In this example, we will use multiplication property to simplify the fraction x over 2. So, paano natin matatanggal ang over 2 gamit ang multiplication property of equality? So, the numerical coefficient of x here is 1. So, it's like 1/2 x. And using MPE, or multiplication property of equality, we need to get the reciprocal of 1/2. And that is 2 over 1, or to simplify it, it is 2. Yung numerator sa 1 magiging denominator, at yung denominator na 2 ay magiging numerator. Kaya, naging 2 over 1. Then, multiply the reciprocal 2 by x over 2. Then, don't forget the rules in solving equation. We also need to multiply 2 by 3x plus 4. Then, let's simplify the left side of the equation using distributive property. So, 2 times 3x is 6x, 2 times 4 is 8. And we know that if fraction is multiplied by its reciprocal, the answer is 1. And x times 1 is x. So we have 6x plus 8 equals to x. Then, since the rule in standard form, kailangan ang ating right side of the equation ay naka-equate kay 0. So therefore, we need to use again addition property of equality. Ano ang i-add natin kay x para ito ay maging 0? So, syempre, ang kailangan nating i-add sa kanya ay yung additive inverse niya. Since positive x yan, ang i-add natin ay negative x. X plus negative x is the same as x minus x because the rules in adding integers, if different sign, you must subtract them. Since magkaiba sila ng sign, itong ating addition ay magiging subtraction, and then papalitan natin yung sign ng subtrahend at ito ay magiging positive, kaya x minus x. Then, since the equation must be balanced, therefore, we need to subtract x by 6x plus 8. And now, let's simplify. So, in the right side of the equation, we know that x minus x is equals to 0. At sa left side of the equation, kung inyong mapapansin, ay merong similar terms. So, we need to combine those similar terms. And that is 6x minus x. And that is equal to 5x. Then bring down positive 8. So, the result is 5x plus 8 equals to 0. Now, inspect the exponents of the terms of the equation. So, we have 1, we have 0. The degree of the equation is 1. Then, it is not a quadratic equation. Illustrative example number 3. Given is negative 7x times the quantity of x plus 2 plus 5x equals to 0. Let's simplify the equation using properties of equality. So, in our example, we will use distributive property. Negative 7x times x is negative 7x squared. Negative 7x times positive 2 is negative 14x. Then bring down positive 5x equals to 0. So we have negative 7x squared minus 14x plus 5x equals to 0. If you observe, negative 14x and positive 5x are similar terms. So by simplifying it, negative 14x plus 5x is equals to negative 9x. Remember, in adding integers with different signs, you must subtract them and affix the sign of the larger number. So dito, magiging 14x minus 5x, and that is 9x. Since 14 is larger than 5, we need to affix the sign of 14. That's why the answer is negative 9x. Now, bring down negative 7x squared. So we have negative 7x squared minus 9x equals to 0. And it's already in standard form. Now, inspect the exponents of the terms of the equation. So we have 2, we have 1. Since the degree is 2, therefore, it is a quadratic equation. And this example is considered as incomplete quadratic equation because the constant term is missing. Therefore, the value of c is equals to 0. The quadratic term is negative 7x squared, therefore the value of a is negative 7. Linear term is negative 9x, therefore the value of b is negative 9. Illustrative example number 4. Given, the product of x plus 5 and x plus 3 is equals to 0. To rewrite it in standard form, we need to apply some methods in multiplying polynomials. And since the given are two binomials, then we will use FOIL method. So x times x is x squared, and that is for the first terms. X times negative 3x is negative 3x, and that is for the outer terms. 5 times x is 5x, and that is for the inner terms. And 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, and that is for the last terms. If you observe, I represented two methods to simplify polynomials using FOIL. So this one is in horizontal form, and this one is in vertical form. So pwedeng kahit ano dito ang gamitin nyo kung saan kayo nadadalian, ay pwede nyong gamitin. And now, let's simplify. We need to combine the similar terms, and that is negative 3x and 5x, and that is 2x. Then bring down x squared and negative 15. So we have x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals to 0. Again, we need to inspect the exponents. So we have 2, we have 1, and we have 0. And since degree is 2, therefore it is a quadratic equation. Now, we can identify the terms of the equation. So quadratic term is x squared, linear term is 2x, and constant term is negative 15. Now, let's get the numerical coefficient, the value of a, b, and c. So, the value of a is 1. Kasi ang numerical coefficient dito, di ba, pag wala tayong nakikitang number, merong invisible 1 dyan. Then, linear term, b is 2. And the value of c is negative 15. Maraming salamat sa panonood at pakikinig. Sana kayo ay may natutunan sa tutorial na ito. Ako, si Ma'am April Marie Salonga na lagi nagpapaalala na huwag kalilimutang magsaya habang natututo.